Take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-785-9132. That's 800-785-9132. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-785-9132.
You're listening to the JR Sport Brief.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
Holy Jesus. What is that?
It's time to get in the game.
You know what time it is.
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis.
To me, you are nothing.
Your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage.
Start it up. Let's go.
Catch us Monday through Thursday from 5 to 7 p.m. on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Hello and welcome back to another edition of Centex Prime Time. I'm your host, Jalen Gillis, as we are here on this sunny Wednesday afternoon, hump day for everybody, halfway through the week, folks. Some of you just not getting off of work. Some of you got a little bit more time in on the clock. But we're here to bring you some sports news, whether you're just getting off, whether you're at home, or like I said, whether you're finishing out those last couple hours at work today. Hope everybody's having a wonderful Wednesday afternoon today as we bring you the prime time topics in sports, not only in Central Texas, but from all over the nation. Like I said, my name is Jalen Gillis. Centex Prime Time live from 5 to 7 weekdays. Make sure you're going over to YouTube if you want to watch this content. Weekdays 5 to 7. Go on to YouTube, Centex Sports Network or Centex Sports TV. Hit that subscribe button, like the stream, share the stream. Also hit that bell on there so you can get notified every time that we go live here on Centex Primetime. Also, download the app on the Google Play Store or the Apple Store, Centex Sports One. You can download the app, or if you're on your computer or phone, go to CentexSports1.com as well. You can listen to and watch this content, like I said, weekdays from 5 to 7. Well, folks, halfway through the week, looking back at last weekend's events, last weekend's games, and then looking forward into this weekend. Got football on Thursday, Friday, and Saturday and Sunday as well, and also Monday. Only days we don't have games is Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and the baseball playoffs just started, so this is what a lot of people consider the best time of the year. Now, it's not as good of a time of year for me right now because my Houston Astros just got kicked out the playoffs by the Detroit Tigers. Got some Detroit roots as well, some ties there as well, but my team is the Astros. For you guys watching, you see I got my Texans hat on today, one of my Texans hats on today. But my Astros couldn't pull it out today, eliminated from the playoffs. It's all good. We got plenty to look forward to the next coming seasons. And, man, we've had some great runs over the last few years, so I'm not too messed up about it. It's got to end eventually. And I think this run with guys like Jose Altuve and different guys like that is starting to come to an end. But, like I said, I'm optimistic about the team and about the future with the Houston Astros. Going to some NFL news. Some breaking news over the last few days that's had everybody talking and chatting. Devontae Adams, finally, something I thought would have been happened, requested a trade He requested a trade from the Las Vegas Raiders after he signed there a couple years ago when he was fed up with Aaron Rodgers' shenanigans in Green Bay. Also said that the ownership group in Green Bay wasn't giving him the particular deal that he liked. But he decides to leave there, goes to the Las Vegas Raiders, teams back up with his college quarterback, one of his best friends in the league, in Derek Carr. Shortly after, Derek Carr is gone. Now Derek Carr is in New Orleans, and he's been stuck with a bevy of different quarterbacks. Last year, it was Jimmy G, and probably the last time we'll see Garoppolo as a starter. Him out in Vegas with that whole Josh McDaniels thing that they had going. I don't know exactly what to call that they had going last year. They tried it again with Josh McDaniels as a head coach. Fizzled out even quicker this time than he did in Denver his first go-around. Some people are just better as coordinators, and Josh McDaniels is one of those guys. I think if he can't cheat the right way, I don't think he's going to work out too good as a head coach. We've seen what his players said. It came out and said about Josh McDaniels in their time in Denver, how they were, they had the scandals of taping people's practices and knowing plays, all that kind of stuff. So the Josh McDaniels experiment doesn't work in Vegas. They make Antonio Pierce the interim head coach. They have some success. Now they come into this year, even more questions at quarterback. At least you had Jimmy Garoppolo last year and knew what to expect. Now, maybe they didn't think he was going to play that bad. I did. I've never been a big fan of Jimmy G, and then you mix that in with the Josh McDaniels nonsense that he has going on every time he gets a head coaching job. I knew that wasn't going to be a good recipe, but Davante Adams was stuck with it. He signed with this team. Now they come into this year, even more questions. Antonio Pierce is the head coach now. I do like Antonio Pierce as a head coach. I do think he will have success in this league as a head coach, just not right now. I don't think right now is the time that the Raiders will have success, even though they are 500 right now. Got a better record than teams in the league right now. Teams that we thought would be good, like the Dolphins or the Browns or the Bengals, even Jacksonville. So they're in better shape than those guys, but they're 2-2 on the year. A surprising win over the Ravens, and then they beat the Browns team that honestly Cleveland has just been a disaster so far to start this year off and how they've gone, especially with all the talent they have in Cleveland. But they've been a disaster. So the Raiders sitting at 2-2, but Davante Adams not happy. Quarterback play is inconsistent at best with guys like Mr. Mustache and Gardner Minshew out there as his quarterback right now. He had Aiden O'Connell last year points in the season, and just a lot of question marks. I'm sure we're going to talk about teams later that are going to be in line to be lining up to pick some quarterbacks next year, next April, and the Raiders are going to be one of them because they have nothing but a question mark, a big question mark at their most important position, which is quarterback. So Davante Adams at 31 now, does he want to sit around and wait on that? I wouldn't. I thought he would have asked for a trade before the season, but he decided to come back, get a couple games in, and I see the play here by the Raiders. I see what they did. You have a game where, hey, we're gonna feed you the ball. We're gonna get you 10 to 12 targets in it, so everyone still knows, hey, you're good. This guy is not damaged goods. He's still one of the top receivers in the league. And then we're gonna openly say, all right, now it's time to go ahead and trade him. So I recognize your game here, Raiders. Not mad at it, but I see what's going on. In that Baltimore game, he had 9 receptions, 12 targets, 110 yards, and a touchdown. After that, he had 4 catches for 40 yards against Carolina and didn't play last week. So now that he is requesting a trade, I don't think it means much for the Las Vegas Raiders. I think they're asking for a second-round pick. Doesn't mean much for the Raiders in this one, but what does it mean for some of these other teams in the league? That is the question. Who are some of the suitors for Davante Adams? I've got a couple teams in mind. Obviously, the New York Jets have been speculated. He teaming back up with Aaron Rodgers. That wouldn't be surprising And they do have cap room, I believe, to be able to make that happen. I just don't see it happening because you've already bring in Mike Williams. Garrett Wilson is a little bit frustrated right now. And they've already acquiesced to Aaron Rodgers so much. Last year they bring in Randall Cobb. They still have Alan Lazard on the team. They still have the offensive coordinator there that Aaron Rodgers wanted. So they've already done so much to acquiesce to Aaron Rodgers. Do they go and trade a second-round pick now for Davante Adams? Could they use the help? Of course. But it's not like receiver is just their weak point on the team. They've got some other question marks on their team that need to be answered right now, like a pass rush. Any money they're spending, they should be spending that on signing Hassan Reddick after these first few weeks in the league. He's proven that he is going to be needed for this team to have some success. So I think that's where they should spend their money. Some other teams, though, there's been speculated. Of course, the New Orleans Saints. Now, after the first couple of weeks, the Saints look like, hey, they might try to make a run at the end of Derek Carr's career here. Still got Alvin Kamara playing at a high level. Chris Olave playing at a high level. They're getting a lot out of Rashid Shaheed and what he's been able to do. But after these last couple weeks, I don't know. I don't know exactly what to think about the New Orleans Saints. I don't know exactly where to rank them in the tier list of teams because they've got question marks. Yeah, their offense looked good the first couple weeks, but then the next week you score 15 points against the Eagles, and then last week you lose to an Atlanta Falcons team that, if you listen to the show yesterday, we talked about them, and I think they're just mid at best, honestly. They've got some good players around them, but I'm not a believer in Kirk Cousins like that. I think their defense is good. So after dropping 2 games like that, and then you got the Chiefs and Buccaneers coming up next. The Chiefs, obviously, best team in the league probably right now. We'll talk about top 5 teams in a little bit. And then the Buccaneers, who are the best team in your division. So I don't know exactly where to list the Saints. Should they go out and make a trade like that? Will that trade put them over the top? I don't know. I don't think so, matter of fact. So I don't see them going and getting Davante Adams. The 2 teams that I picked that I think should be the 2 teams to trade for Davante Adams, and this week, 3 teams really. One of them is the Kansas City Chiefs after the news we just got with Rashee Rice going to be out for the season. Marquise Brown, Hollywood Brown, going to be out for pretty much the season. You lose both of those guys. You don't really have a true number 1 right now. Travis Kelce has been up and down. Really, over the last 2 seasons, he's been up and down, but especially to start this season off. Kansas City with Davante Adams, I mean, it would almost feel like cheating. It would almost feel like cheating if Kansas City went out there and was able to get Davante Adams. But with them just asking for a second-round pick, it's not like Kansas City doesn't have the means to be able to do it. Now, they'll have to work some things out with the cap and all of that. Of course, I know. But teams always find a way to do that. So that would be one. But my top 2 teams I have that he should go to are the Baltimore Ravens, who are in need of a number 1 receiver. Zay Flowers is good, but he's not ready yet. They already have a great tight end room. They got Derrick Henry, who looks like the best back in the league right now. That would just take them over the top. And the other team is your Dallas Cowboys. We have a lot of Cowboys fans that listen on here with us daily. Right here on 94.5 FM, we are the flagship station for the Dallas Cowboys in Central Texas. So your Dallas Cowboys, I think, are number 1 on my list of teams that should be calling for Davante Adams. Multiple reasons why. He's still probably the best route runner in the league, still a top 5 receiver if he gets the targets, even though he is 30 or 31. We've seen so far this season, the Cowboys have no second option at catching the ball right now. It's CD and the CDettes. CD and the others. As of right now, it's just a one-man show. And that's not going to work for having success. It's already got him at 2-2 right now. But you're not going to be able to have success later in the year like that. Especially the more and more teams play you, they're just going to double CD and make everybody else work, which I think they're going to get a heavy dose of on Sunday when they take on the Pittsburgh Steelers. We're just going to double CD, and, hey, somebody else is going to have to beat us. You're going to prove to us that Jalen Tolbert can win in one-on-one coverage. You're going to prove to us that Brandon Cooks can still win in one-on-one coverage. Jake Ferguson, he's their third leading receiver right now. That's not a real third option or second option with Tolbert and Ferguson. So you need a Devontae Adams in there. Devontae Adams will be a game changer. Do I think that will make them win a Super Bowl? No, because I think the Cowboys have multiple flaws that will eventually take them out of the playoffs. But will that tremendously improve your chances on making the playoffs and maybe having some success in the playoffs? Absolutely. I think the Dallas Cowboys should be the first team on the line trying to call the Raiders to get Devontae Adams. He wants to be able to play with a competent quarterback again. Dak obviously can do that. You give Dak another option out there. They're throwing the ball 70+% of the time. This is not a running team. Even though Mike McCarthy lied a couple of years ago after they scapegoated Kellen Moore and said we're going to go back to old school football and we're going to run the ball. And that didn't happen, obviously. They throw the ball even more, actually. So they're not a running team. If you're going to be a passing team and passing is 70% of the time, shouldn't you need more weapons on the outside to be able to throw it? Now, we saw in the offseason, Jerry said, we're going to be all in. We're going to do whatever it takes to get this team to a Super Bowl. And then they signed 0 free agents. And the couple free agents they had on their squad that they should have re-signed, like Stephen Gilmore, they didn't. Derrick Henry wanted to come to the Cowboys, they didn't. Are you going to miss out on this opportunity as well? Y'all got a second-round pick. You've got the cap room. Dak needs another receiver. CeeDee Lamb and Devontae Adams, that's scary. Yeah, I mean, y'all that watch the show or that have been watching the show with me for a little while now, y'all know I'm not a Cowboys fan, but that's scary. That's a scary duo as far as those two guys teaming up together, CeeDee and Devontae Adams. That's going to be tough to stop. Now, I'm not sure where in the world Dalvin Cook is and why he hasn't been called up yet, or if he has been called up yet. I don't know why he's not playing. But if you can get some production out of Dalvin Cook, if you can get some production just out of this running back room, you can get to 85, 90 yards every game. It's out of this running back room between Dalvin, Zeke, Deuce Vaughn, Rico Dowdell, whoever gets in there and gets some runs. If you can get to 85 to 90 yards a game, and then you got two true number one receivers out there like Devontae Adams and CeeDee Lamb, I think that's scary. And that's a lot for me to say that. Like I said, I'm not a Cowboys fan. But teams are not going to want to see that. And Dak numbers are going to shoot up tremendously. They're going to shoot through the roof. If they can get somebody like that, the field will be wide open. In Dak's entire career, they've never had two receivers of that caliber. And Dak has already had some great seasons. So imagine what he can do if they're able to get a Devontae Adams and a CeeDee Lamb. I mean, that could do a lot for this team. Like I said, Cowboys should be number one. But the other team I named in the Baltimore Ravens, you don't have a true number one. Zay Flowers isn't a number one. He's a good player. He's a good receiver. He's a playmaker. He is not a number one receiver. And over the years, we've seen Baltimore get some of these older receivers that their original teams have given up on as a number one option. We go back to Steve Smith and what he was able to do after he left Carolina. Came to Baltimore and was still number one, brought a lot of toughness, brought veteran leadership to that team. And you think about Anquan Bolden. When Arizona got rid of him and said he wasn't a number one anymore. Those two teams, those two guys were able to come to the Baltimore Ravens and revive their career and extend their career, however you want to look at it. Devontae Adams fits right in that mold. You give Lamar Jackson a true route runner. Is this team throwing the ball a lot right now? No. They're not. Will they if they get Devontae Adams? I think it'll be a little more balanced than what it is now. And you got a guy that can win in one-on-one coverage. If you have a guy that you know, hey, I can go to this dude in one-on-one. You already know you can go to Mark Andrews in one-on-one. Zay Flowers is a pretty decent option in one-on-one as well. Isaiah Likely is a pretty decent option in one-on-one as well. So if you had Devontae Adams to go with that, it'll be what they wanted it to be with Odell last year. He just couldn't stay healthy. This will be a souped-up version of that when you put Devontae Adams out there. Like I said, still probably the best, still the best route runner in the league, in my opinion. Still the best route runner in the league. You team that up with Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, who was playing at an MVP level. See, we're going to talk about the MVP for the first quarter of the season, the first 4 games of the season. Derrick Henry is right in that list as who's playing at an MVP level. You add that to Lamar Jackson, who won the MVP last year, then you get Devontae Adams out there. Man, I'm telling you, teams can change how we're looking at this Super Bowl picture with picking up a Devontae Adams. This isn't just a regular guy asking to get traded. This isn't when Brandon Cooks wanted to trade a few years ago, or not even A.J. Brown when he wanted to get traded a couple years ago. And I think A.J. Brown's one of the best receivers in the league. But Devontae Adams has had that title before as best receiver in the league. He's still one of the best receivers in the league, in my opinion. So you pair him up with a Baltimore Ravens or you pair him up with the Dallas Cowboys, that is a season-changing move. For the Cowboys, like I said, I don't think that gets them to the Super Bowl, but it improves their chances. Right now, I don't know if they're going to make the playoffs. So that improves their chances tremendously in my eyes. As the Baltimore Ravens, I think they're a Super Bowl contender right now. So you add that in. You add Devontae Adams into that mix. I mean, it's going to be hard for me to not look at them as a favorite if they're able to get a Devontae Adams. They're another one of those teams that have to make some magic happen with the cap, but teams do it all the time. I'm not going to act like that's impossible to do. Teams do that all the time. Hopefully, I hope someone doesn't wait too late and try to get him cheaper in the trade deadline. I hope a team gets him in the fold now so he can get acclimated to the offense, to his teammates, and to his quarterback. And so by the time it's time for that second half of the season and that home stretch to hit November, December football, he can already be he can already be in rhythm with this team. So hopefully teams don't wait too long. But Devontae Adams asking for a trade right now, that's a game changer for multiple teams in the league if somebody steps up and get him. And they're not even asking for an arm and a leg. They're asking for a second-round pick. Come on, y'all. Y'all know teams have a second-round pick. I mean, Buffalo's another one of those teams. I think they got 2 second-round picks. You wouldn't give one of those up to get Devontae Adams, especially when you see him when you played some real competition last Sunday in the Ravens, that not having a number 1 receiver, it showed up. And it kind of came back to bite you a little bit. So I'm excited. I'm excited to see this Devontae Adams news and where this can go from here. This could change the trajectory of a lot of teams. Now, on the Raiders side of things, I don't think it affects them a lot. I don't see this team as competing for a playoff spot. I honestly think, now it's hard to tell a coach like AP that, but I think they need to lose some more games. I mean, I think they need to be trying to get in that top 10 so they can go get a quarterback. Decent quarterback draft coming out this year. Multiple guys coming out. It's not the best, but you've got a bevy of guys coming out. You've got a Shador Sanders. Now, I don't know if they'll pick high enough to get him, but Shador's coming out. Carson Beck is coming out. Cam Ward, who's looking great right now in Miami, he's coming out. You look at Jalen Milroe in Alabama, he's probably coming out. He keeps playing like he's doing now. I don't think he's coming back for his senior year. He's probably going to come out in the draft. You got Quinn Ewers. He's coming out. So if you can get in that top 10, you're going to guarantee yourself pretty much a spot to get, unless a bunch of guys trade up, you're going to guarantee yourself a chance of getting one of these guys. So I think the Raiders need to lose some more games. And I think this is the start of it. They're going to bench Devontae Adams. They said he's got a hamstring injury all of a sudden. You can't test that. You can't test if somebody's hamstring is pulled. So obviously they're going to use that as the excuse to be able to bench him right now so he doesn't get hurt. They need to lose some of these games so they can be in that top 10, potentially top 5 to get a quarterback. Aiden O'Connell's not going to cut it. Mr. Mustache and Gardner Minshew, he's not going to cut it, and they know that. So, AP, I understand. It's tough, but you got to lose some games, bro. If you want to have a future, if you want the future to look bright for this team, you got to lose some games. Paying a top receiver is not in the plan, and that's why they're getting rid of Devontae Adams. You still got Max Crosby. You got to try to take advantage of this before he starts asking for a trade next. So quarterback has got to be the number one thing, and you're probably going to have to get that in the draft, honestly. So we'll see how this Devontae Adams news turns out, folks. We're going to take a short break. Still got some more to talk about here in hour number one. Some more NFL talk. We're going to talk some NCAA in hour number two. We're going to talk about a few different things. I'm going to have PJ Gaither coming on here with me as well. So stay tuned, folks. Stay locked in right here. You're watching Centex Primetime on Centex Sports Network and listening on Affinity Sports Radio Central Texas and the Centex Sports One app. We'll be right back.
Looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blasian Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blasian Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
The East Waco Empowerment Project, along with City Center Waco, is hosting WeBo, Workshop and Business Opportunity, to help create more entrepreneurs. Business owners like Aniceto Charles of True Jamaica Restaurant and Carla Dotson of Boardwalk on Elm attended WeBo to develop their business ideas into successful Black-owned businesses right in the heart of East Waco. WeBo can also help you turn your side hustle or business idea into the next thriving Black-owned business in our community. If you would like to attend this 10-week intense entrepreneurial workshop, go to WeBoWaco.org. That's WIBO Waco.org. Space.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding peach cobbler make you want to holler for me. It's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's the sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken you've been missing, the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk, and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need Southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie, 719 South 11th Street. Sassy's, come on by.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports. This is live from the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Studios.
That's right, sports fans.
About to show these boys how we do it. You ready?
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis, your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Welcome back into Centex Prime Time, everybody. I'm your host, Jalen Gillis. We're here still talking some football, folks. We just talked about the breaking news over the last couple days of Devontae Adams asking for a trade. And I thought there's a couple suitors out there that should be, like I said, hitting the Las Vegas Raiders line right now to try to go get Devontae Adams. But in some other news, we've made it through the first 4 weeks of this NFL season, folks. First 4 weeks, first quarter of the season. So, what does that mean right now? That means we make some way too early predictions. Some way too early predictions on the season. And that's going to start with MVP. And now I want to preface this. This is who I have as the MVP of the season so far. I don't want to say that this is who's going to win the MVP yet, because honestly, I just do not know. The way that this season is gone, a lot of parity right now in the league, and I just don't know who is going to be that top guy standing there at the end of it. I mean, think about last season. How long did it take us to know Lamar Jackson was going to be an MVP? There were so many people by this point in the season that we had picked in front of him. And right now, it's looking close to the same. It's looking the same right now as far as we don't know who's going to be. But I can say who has been the MVP through the first 4 weeks, so first quarter of the season, who was played at an MVP level, who would be considered the MVP for the first 4 weeks of this season. There's a lot of different names you can throw out there. One of the first names I thought of, Derrick Henry. I know they don't give it to running backs, but I like giving the running backs love on here. Derrick Henry. Yeah, he was kind of shaky the first game. Second game, he had 85 yards. And in the last 2 games, he's just went berserk. He's gone crazy in these last 2 games. Dallas, 25 carries, 151 yards, 2 touchdowns. One of the sole reasons they won that game. Last week, he comes out 199 and a touchdown, taking the first play of scrimmage all the way to the house for 87 yards. Derrick Henry is right there in that MVP conversation, and I think he has potential to be in that MVP conversation throughout the rest of this year. Now, that would be crazy. I don't think they're going to do that. I don't think they're going to give Lamar Jackson MVP and then backdoor in the next year and give it to somebody else on the Ravens. So I don't see them doing that. But he should definitely be in contention for that. With the way he's playing right now, he is arguably the best player on the Ravens. And I've got the Ravens as one of the top teams in the league. We'll talk about top 5 teams later on here in the show. But the person that I do have for the MVP so far, Derrick Henry was my runner-up. That's why I gave him the shout-out. Thought about a couple other people. I thought about Josh Allen, even though he got blown out last week. But the person that it kind of should be an obvious answer, but it's not going to be obvious, is Sam Darnold. Now, how crazy does that sound? Sam Darnold, through the first 4 weeks of the season, is the MVP. His team is undefeated. They're 4-0. They beat some good teams. They're not just out here lollygagging, playing anybody. They've beaten good teams, including my Houston Texans. They blew us out. And I got the Texans as one of the best teams in the league. See, I'm rocking the hat today. They blew us out, 34-7. They blew out the New York Giants. Okay, that's the Giants. I'll give y'all that. Before y'all get on me, I'll give y'all that. It's the Giants. You're right. They come back the next week and beat the 49ers, the representative of the NFC last year. One of the best teams in the league still, in my opinion. Beat them. They come out the next week, beat the Texans, like I said. Blew us out, 34-7. They beat the Green Bay Packers, who I believe are going to end up being one of the better teams in the NFC. A lot of people are already writing them off. I don't think so. I think now that Jordan Love is getting back healthy, I think the Packers are going to be dangerous. That's just my opinion. But they beat them last week. He is leading the league right now in touchdowns. 11 touchdowns to 2 picks on the season. He's playing at an MVP level. Now, some of y'all not going to like that. 3 picks. I said that wrong. 11 touchdowns and 3 picks. Some of y'all not going to like that. But he is, honestly, probably the main reason this team is 4-0. Justin Jefferson's been good. He's their best player. But he's not leading the league in yards or leading the league in catches. This defense has been great. But none of that would matter without the tremendous play of Sam Darnold. Now, they wanted to start J.J. McCarthy at the beginning of the season, and I thought that was not smart at all. I didn't write off Sam Darnold because, like I talked about on the show before, I'm not so quick to write off these younger quarterbacks when they're forced to start right in the league and then you go to a horrible organization like the New York Jets. Only one that I'm convinced on that might really be bad at football is Zach Wilson. I think Zach Wilson might really just be bad at football. I didn't necessarily think that about Sam Darnold. I didn't think about Geno Smith when he was at the Jets. And you see what he's been doing so far this year, leading his team in this Kevin O'Connell system. They've got a running game with Aaron Jones. They've got the best receiver in the league in Justin Jefferson, even though I think it's probably a toss-up between him and Jamar Chase. But production-wise, Jefferson's been better. Probably less of a diva as well, so that helps. I got Sam Darnold, man, as my MVP through these first 4 weeks. Like I said, leading the team in touchdown, not far off from top of the league in passing yards. It's about 100 yards away from being in the top 3 in passing yards, and none of those guys in the top 3 I feel like are MVP candidates with Dak Prescott, Geno Smith, and Brock Purdy. I just think they've had to throw the ball a lot. Now, I wanted to put C.J. Stroud in this conversation too, but I didn't want to be too much of a homer. I'm not going to lie. I didn't want to be too much of a homer, so I left C.J. Stroud out of this. But honestly, I really do think through the first 4 weeks of the season, the first quarter, that's it, just the first quarter of the season, Sam Darnold has played at an MVP level. Now, I want to get you guys' opinion on this. Go on to YouTube now, Centex Sports Network, Centex Sports TV. Jump in the chat. Let me know, who do you guys think? Am I tripping? Am I taking it too far with the hype train of the Vikings and saying that Sam Darnold is the MVP of the league so far? Am I taking it too far? Am I just, being hyperbolic? Or am I right on the money? Let me know. And then if I'm wrong, let me know who you think is the MVP right now in the season. Like I said, go over to YouTube, jump in that chat. You can go on Facebook at Centex Sports Network. And you can leave a comment there as well. Let me know. Who do y'all think is the MVP so far of this league? Multiple guys I named out there. Multiple different good answers. But I want to get you guys' opinion. Like I said, am I tripping? Am I taking it too far? Or is Sam Darnold? I think I picked a pretty good one. I mean, the team's 4-0. It's not like I picked somebody random. The team's 4-0. He's leading the league in touchdowns. That sounds like criteria that the NFL usually goes by to pick these MVP winners. Last year, Lamar Jackson was the MVP winner. He didn't lead the league in yards. He didn't lead the league in touchdowns. He had wins, though. He was the best player on the best team. Right now, Sam Darnold almost fits that criteria. I don't have him as the best team. I got that as the Kansas City Chiefs right now. But Mahomes hasn't played at an MVP level. So I can't get that to Mahomes. So I got to look to Sam Darnold. And Darnold's got the numbers to back it up right now. So I got Sam Darnold as my MVP for these first few weeks. Now, like I said, you guys might have different opinions. We're going to have PJ calling in later. I'll ask him about it. Might have Kyrie come on here with me too later. We'll ask him about it. We'll get their opinions on that. But for me, I've got Sam Darnold right now as my MVP. So the NFL going into this next week, still a lot of question marks around teams. Still some questions that need to be answered for certain teams, even the good ones. I'm more so talking about the good ones. What New England and Jacksonville do, I don't really care. I think they're going to be at the bottom of the league. What the Cleveland Browns do, I don't really care. But certain teams, like the one I'm just talking about, the Minnesota Vikings, they've got question marks around them, even though they are 4-0. Can they keep this up? That's the number one question mark. And they're going to have a good test coming up this Sunday against this New York Jets team, because the Jets have the potential to go on a run. They've got Aaron Rodgers. Now, we've seen before in the past how his teams he's been on have started slow. This is his first time. He hasn't played in a year. Coming back out with this team, brand new team. Yeah, he's been around the locker room for a year, but he still got to get acclimated to this squad. So this is a dangerous game for Minnesota. It's going to be early in the morning, 8 o'clock. They're playing overseas. They're playing in London. How does that fare for guys? How does that change what guys do, how guys prepare? You can't eat the same food. Your schedule's a little different. You're jet lagged. How does that change? Is that an advantage for somebody like Aaron Rodgers? I think so, because one, he's done it multiple times before. And Sam Darnold's still trying to establish himself as that guy, even though I just had him as the MVP of the league so far. He's still trying to establish himself as that guy. You got to get all your team on one accord. They're trying to stay undefeated, and the New York Jets are tough. Now, like I said earlier, they're in the conversations for trade talks with Devontae Adams. They need to go and pay. They need to go and pay Hassan Reddick. They got to go pay him his money. What did y'all bring him over here if y'all didn't want to pay him his money? That's the part I'm confused on. What did you trade for him for if you weren't going to give him his money? Get this dude his money, man. Y'all need a pass rush. Jermaine Johnson's still on IR. That's one of your best. That is one of your best pass rushers. You need to be able to rush the passer to complete this team. Yeah, you got a good secondary with Sauce and DJ Reed. Might be the best cornerback duo in the league, but if you can't get pressure, it's going to be tough. Will McDonald's been playing great, but wouldn't Will McDonald and Hassan Reddick to go along with Quentin Williams in the middle of that defense, that D-line, wouldn't that really look good? That would be a problem. They've got C.J. Mosley, even though he's hurt right now. They've got Quincy Williams, who's been one of the best tacklers in the league for the last couple years. You got Sauce Gardner. You got Chuck Clark out there hitting people, bringing that toughness from the Baltimore Ravens. Why haven't they added Hassan Reddick back to this? I'm confused on that. But I think the Jets team has enough to be able to make a run, to be good. Can they come out of the AFC? I think that's a stretch. The AFC is just a gauntlet. AFC is way too tough for you to be able to think that. But with two good running backs in Breece Hall and Braylon Allen, who I really like that they picked him up as well in the draft. Two good backs like that, Aaron Rodgers, and then you got a true number one and Garrett Wilson, even though he's a little bit frustrated right now with how things are going. But you do have a true number one in Garrett Wilson. You do have Mike Williams whenever he can get fully healthy, who can be a deep threat. This team is dangerous, and we'll pick the games probably a little later in the week, probably tomorrow. But I'm tempted to take the New York Jets in this game, man. It's tough, even though I just said all those good things about the Vikings. I'm tempted to take the Jets in this one. Yeah, they're 2-2. Yeah, they haven't looked the greatest. Yeah, they just lost a horrible game to the Denver Broncos where you lose 10-9. That can't happen. I'm not going to lie. That can't happen. Maybe that's the game that wakes them up here. It seems like everybody's frustrated coming off of that game, as they should be. You should be frustrated when you lose to Bo Nix. Bo Nix went 12 for 25 in that game, 60 yards and 1 touchdown. You heard me right, 60 yards in that game that they won against the Jets. So do they have to do better? Absolutely. Absolutely, you have to do better than that and putting up a better fight than that. But I think this might be the game to do it. This game, playing in London, might be the game you bounce back against the Minnesota Vikings. Now, it's going to be a tough ask of your team to be able to do that because they've got to get on the flight just like the Vikings got to get on that flight. And they're coming off a loss to a horrible loss where you couldn't even score 3 points. Where you couldn't even score 10 points. You lose that game 10-9. Right now, Minnesota Vikings, 2.5-point favorite in this game. Like I said, I'll be picking this tomorrow. I want to see some more of these injury reports and how this stuff goes. But I am tempted to pick the New York Jets in this game. So there's a lot of question marks around these top teams. I want to give out my top 5 teams, though, before we go into break for the top of the hour. This is my top 5 teams. Now, like I said, I don't want to sound like Stephen A and say this list is fluid. Rocky got on me yesterday for having the Bills as my number 1 last week. And they're probably going to get on me today for this list. At 5, I got the Buffalo Bills. Now, you're already wondering, how do I get the Bills from 1 to 5 in just 1 week? Well, that's because I wasn't a huge believer in the Buffalo Bills. I had them at number 1 because I felt like they played the best in the season so far. After that loss against the Baltimore Ravens on Sunday Night Football, in the way that they lost, in the way that they were exposed, I got them at number 5. Do I think the Bills are still going to be a good team? Absolutely. Do I think the Bills are going to make a run in the AFC playoffs? Absolutely. Do I think they're going to get to the AFC Championship or win the AFC? Absolutely not. But I didn't think that before. When I picked them number 1 last week, I didn't think that. I was just going off based off who played the best so far through these first few weeks. So I got the Bills at number 5. I got them at 5 because I think they're going to lose this Sunday to the team I got at number 4. The Houston Texans. Y'all see I got the hat on today. It's just one of them. Y'all see I got the hat on today, though. The Houston Texans are my number 4 team in the NFL right now. Yeah, we lost a game. We're 3-1. Look who we lost to. We lost to one of the only 2 teams that's undefeated in the league, in the Minnesota Vikings. Now, we did get whooped. I'm not going to act like we didn't get whooped. We did get whooped in that game. But I think we're going to bounce back and get a win over a tough team in the Buffalo Bills this Sunday at home at Houston. This is a big game for the Texans. Right now, I got them number 4. I think this is one of the more complete teams in the NFL still. Stephon Diggs is starting to catch on more and more and more, and it's getting scary. Nico Collins is leading the league in yards by over 100 yards. Nico Collins has been an absolute star since C.J. Stroud has got to this team. Right now, he's leading the league in yards, 489 yards. Over 100 more yards than the next closest guy. 2 true number 1 receivers in Stephon Diggs, who's starting to catch on. And we haven't even unlocked Tank Dell yet this season. You've seen what Joe Mixon was able to do when he was healthy. Now, he's been hurt. We got to get him back healthy. But we've seen what Joe Mixon was able to do. We've seen how he has been able to lead this offense. I mean, that first game, he had 160 yards. Now, I knew health would be an issue for him coming into this. Health was an issue for him in Cincinnati. That's why I hope that he takes his time to return. As long as we're getting production out of guys like Cam Akers, who stepped up as the next back. Not sure what's going on with Dameon Pierce and why we're not using him. But Ugo Mbawale has played decent. He scored a touchdown for us last week against the Jacksonville Jaguars. He's been a good pass blocker for us. So this team is dangerous still. On the defensive side, Derek Stingley, top 5 corner in the league. Jalen Petrie, still a playmaker. Kamari Lassiter, I think right now one of the best rookie defenders in the league. And he started for us from day one. From day one, he started for us, and he's been playing great. Already in the season, he's got a pick. We've seen him step up in big games in his young career so far already. I like our linebacking core with Henry To'oTo'o that we drafted out of Alabama, with Azeez Al-Shahir that we picked up from the 49ers. We've seen the play that Kalen Bullock, the other rookie safety, made last week. saving a touchdown, stopping the team from scoring a touchdown, and potentially winning us that game. Because when he stopped him from scoring on the 1 yard line, we got a goal line stand. They didn't get any points. We only won the game by 4 points. Danielle Hunter, Will Anderson, how they been able to get after the passer. Will Anderson already 2.5 sacks. Danielle Hunter with 1.5 sacks already. Like the production we've been getting out of the longtime vet and Texas boy, Mario Edwards. Got to watch him play in high school when Denton Ryan was playing my alma mater, Midway, and how he absolutely torched our offensive line. So I've been a fan of Mario Edwards for a little while. He's been playing great. This defense is good, man. I don't want to take too long on my Houston Texans because I could turn into a fan quick. Number 3, the Baltimore Ravens. Now, they've got the worst record out of these teams in my top 5. And they could honestly be number 1. I can't put them there yet because they do still have 2 losses. Yes, they look good against the Cowboys and the Ravens, but they did lose to the Raiders, y'all. Now, with that being said, I think this can be the best team in the NFL. Baltimore has shown that if Derrick Henry is going and Lamar Jackson is going, this team is going to be hard to stop. I don't even know what team in the league is built to be able to stop that right now. Maybe the 49ers. If they ever get healthy, and it seems like their injury woes are just getting worse, with Fred Warner getting hurt last week. That's why I didn't put him in my top 5. So with the way that this team is playing, you know, it's all about when you catch your stride. If this team can catch their stride after losing their first 2 games, man, the league better watch out. The league needs to watch out for what is going on in Baltimore. They could easily be number 1. But I got them 3 right now because they did still lose, and it's still early. They're going to move up this list. I'm not going to say they can. They're going to move up this list. Number 2, the Minnesota Vikings. I just talked about Sam Darnold and how I think he's been the MVP so far of the season, how he's leading the team in touchdowns. Just talked about Jettis on the outside, who is the best receiver in the league right now. Been talking about Kevin O'Connell and how he's been scheming up offenses since he was at the Rams when they won the Super Bowl a few years ago. He's a great offensive mind. They add in Aaron Jones to that. They got him from Green Bay. He's been giving them great production. The defensive side of the ball, Brian Flores has been doing a phenomenal job. I'm going to keep shouting him out because the league tried to write him off after he sued the league, and they wanted to write him off after that. He's been a great defensive coordinator. Tua wanted to come out and say he was too hard on him. He bullied him. He wasn't nice. He said mean things to me. Okay. How has that worked out? We look at Brian Flores and what he's been able to do with this defense and getting production out of guys that, honestly, have been tossed to the side in the league. Stephen Gilmore. He was a free agent all the way to almost the start of the season. They go and pick him up. He's been giving them great production. Harrison Smith has been one of the best safeties in the league for a decade. He's still getting great production. They go get guys like Shaquille Griffin, who just had a pick last week, and guys like Byron Murphy from the Cardinals. You put respectable corners out there to go along with still probably a top 10 corner in the league, and Stephen Gilmore, former Defensive Player of the Year, and Stephen Gilmore. This team's dangerous. Cameron Bynum's been playing good. That secondary is good. Andrew Van Ginkel, they're getting production out of him. Jonathan Gennard from the Texans. He's got 4 sacks on the year. He's been playing great. Blake Casham, their leading tackler, he's been playing good. They got him from the Houston Texans as well. This defense has been playing good this year, and it is in huge thanks to Brian Flores and the schemes that he's been able to put out there. He's doing an amazing job. If there's a coordinator's award, he would win it right now with the way that he's been playing. At number 1, obviously, I got the Kansas City Chiefs. Kansas City, I had them number 2 last week, and everybody thought that was just crazy. But I haven't liked the way that they looked over the first 4 weeks as far as how they won. But winning is a habit, and this is a habit that the Kansas City Chiefs have. They're 4-0. They're the back-to-back Super Bowl champs. I got them as number one. Mahomes, is he playing at an MVP level right now? Nope. Am I worried about Patrick Mahomes being able to play at an MVP level? Nope. It's still Mahomes. He's the best player in the NFL. Don't get that twisted. He is still the best player in the NFL. Now, they're going to have some questions to answer as far as what's going on in their receiver room with Rice being out for the season and Brown being gone. They got Juju Smith-Schuster. I think he'll step up. Still got Xavier Worthy, fastest combine time of all time. I think he'll step up, and I hope he does because he's on my fantasy team. Did good for me last week as I won my fantasy game. So they still got Andy Reid. They still got Mahomes. They still got Kelsey. They still got Chris Jones. Still got Trent McDuffie. They've got the pieces to be able to win the Super Bowl again. Like I said at the beginning of the year, and I'm going to stay on it until they prove me wrong. I don't think that the Chiefs are going to three-peat. I just think that attrition is going to kick in and that it's just going to be too much mentally and physically for that team to three-peat. But as of right now, they're still the best team in the NFL. They're the best team in the league, and I got them at the top of my list on my top 5. Defense has still been good. Their defense is what's honestly been winning them games right now. Can't even lie. Because the offense has been shaky at times. Now, I do like that they go back and add Kareem Hunt, somebody who started their career there and that was just sitting out as a free agent. You know, sometimes I don't know what these teams are doing, like the Dallas Cowboys. If you don't have a running game, why is Kareem Hunt just at the house? We know he can be good. He came in right away last week and got production immediately with this Chiefs team. Didn't even take him long. 14 carries, 69 yards. Added a couple catches for 16 yards as well. Came in and immediately got production out of Kareem Hunt. So I do like that they added that, but now they're going to need some more. They're going to need some more weapons on the outside to be able to move forward. Last year we saw them with a lack of weapons, but Rice stepped up, and Rice played a big role for them last year. With him being gone, Kelsey's going to have to step up some more. I don't know how much left Kelsey has in the tank, to be honest. Can he still be decent? Yeah. But him just being the number one, I don't know if he's still at that level yet. I don't know. Still got to prove that throughout the season. Yeah, he played good last week, but that was his first good game of the season, honestly. So he's got more to prove. This Kansas City team, though, I got them at my number one spot right now in the league. Folks, we're going to go to a break, and we're going to come back at the top of the hour. Stay right here, locked in on Centex Primetime on YouTube, Centex Sports TV. Make sure you go in there and like and share this right now. You can watch this on Facebook as well at Centex Sports Network. Or you can listen or watch this on the app, Centex Sports 1. Download on the Google Play Store or on the Apple Store as well. So stay locked in right here to Centex Primetime, folks. We're going to take a break and come right back for the top of the hour. You're watching Centex Primetime on Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Radio. We'll be right back.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
Are you looking for something new and unforgettable in Waco? Come to the Blazing Asian, where authentic Cambodian flavors meet creative culinary flair. Voted People's Choice as Waco's #1 Asian restaurant since 2019 by both the Wacoan Magazine and the Waco Tribune Herald. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin, we're serving up family recipes with a twist. Blazing Asian egg rolls are rolled fresh daily, and their sauces or marinades are made in-house with love. Stop by today. Located inside the popular Union Hall on 8th and Franklin. And for Baylor students, enjoy 10% off with your student ID.
It's the family feels for me. The banana pudding peach cobbler make you want to holler for me. It's the candy yams, mac and cheese, beef tips, pork tips and rice, collard greens. It's a sweet potato pie, sweetie. Fried chicken you've been missing, the lemon sweet tea dressing on Sundays when you all dressed up. Chest pie, buttermilk and pound cake. Cornbread with butter just dripping, always fresh baked. If you need southern style, soul food, home cooked meals that you can feel. Chicken and dumplings, chicken pot pie. 719 South 11th Street. Sassy's, come on by.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
The East Waco Empowerment Project, along with City Center Waco, is hosting WeBo, Workshop and Business Opportunity, to help create more entrepreneurs. Business owners like Aniceto Charles of True Jamaica Restaurant and Carla Dotson of Boardwalk on Elm attended WeBo.
Hired for free installation.
Into successful Black-owned businesses right in the heart of East Waco. WeBo can also help you turn your side hustle or business idea into the next thriving Black-owned business in our community. If you would like to attend this 10-week intense entrepreneurial workshop, go to WeBoWaco.org. That's WIBO Waco.org. Space.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex Primetime, hosted by Jalen Gillis.
Act like y'all.
Weekdays 5 to 7. This is the Central Texas #1 leader in sports. Centex Sports Network.
That's right, sports fans. We can talk about sports.
And Infinity Sports.
NSJ Event Co., one of the premier event designers in Central Texas and a Centex Sports Network supporter. Voted Waco Awards Event Planner of the Year 2021, NSJ Event Co. is your go-to source for event planning. Whether it's your next baby shower, birthday bash, wedding, or retirement party, NSJ Event Co. will bring out the elegance, class, and style your event deserves. Call NSJ Event Co. at the number on the screen or scan the QR code to schedule a free consultation. NSJ Event Co., where the party lady takes care of all your event needs.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. KWBT-FM, HD2 Waco, Temple, Killeen, Fort Cavazos. The new leader in sports in Central Texas is Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis.
We can talk about sports.
Listen.
It's that time.
This is live from the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Studios.
We live.
Stay ready to voice your thoughts by calling 1-800-215-0598.
This is what is that.
Right here on Centex Sports Network
Now.
and Infinity Sports. This is live from the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports Studios.
That's right, sports fans.
About to show these boys how we do it. You ready?
Tune in to Primetime Sports Talk with Jalen Gillis, your go-to source for breaking sports news in Central Texas and exclusive Dallas Cowboys coverage on the Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime, hour number 2, as we're here on this sunny Wednesday afternoon, live from the 254 Podcast Studios here in Waco, Texas. Here on Centex Primetime, we bring you guys the primetime topics in sports, not only in Central Texas, but from around the entire nation, folks. And hour number 1, got a chance to talk about some of my predictions or recap, I guess, of these first 4 weeks of the season. And I wanted to get some more opinions in on this. Got a couple of people jumping on the show with me. Got Kyrell going to come on here, chop it up. I'm going to give him a couple of my predictions that I said and see if he thinks I'm tripping. I got PJ coming on here with me, too, in just a minute as well. Kyrell, what's going on?
Hey, what's going on, man? What's going on?
Hey, nothing much. Appreciate you jumping on here with me for a second, and we'll have you in and out as we do some of these things on here. And I got PJ calling in with me later as well, so we'll have Kyrell jump on here in a second with us to finish talking some of these ideas and some of these, like I said, predictions that I had in hour number 1. For those of you just now tuning in with us here in hour number 2, first off, thank you guys for jumping on here with me. Also, make sure you go on to YouTube and subscribe on there. If you haven't already, click that bell and hit that subscribe button. That's Centex Sports Network on YouTube. And also, you can look at us. You can watch on Facebook want you guys to jump in the comments on YouTube and Facebook to be able to talk about, discuss some of these topics with me. Like I said, now in number 1, I picked my MVP for the season so far. I picked my top 5 teams in the NFL so far. And this is a week-to-week thing, y'all. This is week-to-week. So don't get on me too much. This is a week-to-week version of my top 5 teams in the league. But like I said in hour number 1, my top 5 was Kansas City at number 1, Minnesota number 2, Ravens number 3, Texans number 4, and Bills number 5. So y'all let me know what y'all think about that list in the comments. Go on to YouTube, Centex Sports Network, and also on the Facebook as well to leave some comments. For my MVP so far this year, I had Sam Darnold. That's a name that a lot of people wouldn't expect me to say, but that's what I had for my first pick, or for my pick of MVP so far this season. Sam Darnold. So I want y'all to jump in those comments. Let me know what y'all think about those picks. But, Kyrell, while I got you on here, man, want to ask you my top 5, and I can get your opinion on it if you want to give one, but my top 5 list, Kansas City 1, Minnesota 2, Baltimore 3, Houston Texans 4, Buffalo Bills number 5. What you think of my list, man? Am I tripping or am I close?
I gotta agree with you. You gotta go KC at number 1. Expect that 4-0.
Yep.
Expect the 4-0 in Minnesota. For your third team, having Baltimore there, right? That's where you had them?
Yeah, I had Baltimore 3.
Yeah, I'll keep them just because of last week. I still don't think they're going to be a factor as much as a factor as the Bills. I think the Bills are going to beat them in the playoffs, man, depending versus how they progress throughout the season. So I'm waiting for them to show me another way they can win. But remind me of your 4th and 5th team.
4th I had Houston, and 5 I had Buffalo. So not much NFC love.
Whoa. We going Houston over Buffalo now?
I think I'm doing that because I think we finna beat Buffalo on Sunday. So I want to go ahead and go into the week right.
Okay, well, I will give you this. Your list makes sense because you had Minnesota at 2. And that makes sense to have Houston high, or higher than Buffalo if you have Minnesota at 2. Which I agree with, so I'm not going to say you're wrong. But I would have gave them 4A, 4B, I don't know.
Yeah, it was. I mean, that 4th and 5th. It's a few teams that could have went in there. Detroit is good. Tampa Bay is good. It's a few teams I could have put in there, but yeah, you can keep going. It was a few teams I could put in that 4th and 5th spot though. So, it was tough. It was tough leaving certain teams out and who to put in there. But like I said, I put Houston there because I think they're finna beat Buffalo on Sunday.
Ooh, boy, that's gonna be a good game. Yeah, but yeah. I like the list, man. I don't like hearing it, but I think it's a good list. The Houston Texans and the Buffalo Bills, to me, have the potential to flip this list entirely around, right? And by I say week 8. So I have no qualms about you. I also think the best 5 teams are. Well, 4 of the best 5 teams are in the AFC. I think the list may get even longer before we add another NFC team. Depending on how you feel about the 49ers start to the season. So,
yeah.
Outside of that, I think it's a good list, man. You got the same 3 quarterbacks that, have kind of been running the league the last 5 years. And, Sam Darnold, let's talk about Sam Darnold, man. I don't think people remember how much hype this dude got before he even when he touched the field at USC. Yeah. They were saying this man is they were talking about that man like he's a deity, just to respect everybody's religion on this list, man. It sounds like it sounds like a deity, man. Whatever you worship, or believe. That's how they were talking about this man, So I'm excited. It's a freshman. It's like, oh yeah, this is the most beautiful ball I've ever seen. Yeah. Oh God, they're gonna write children's books about that ball and all this other stuff. And I'm just like, okay, man, like let's see it. And, at USC he looked pretty good. But let me trust these quarterback gurus that are, get paid to do this. I'm excited to see Sam Darnold in the NFL. Went to the Jets, boy.
Couldn't have a worse start.
If you're the New York Jets, man, you got 2 former draft picks, right?
Yeah.
2 former draft picks being good to very good starters in the league today.
Yep.
Both and you drafted both of them. I may be forgetting somebody with their track record, but I'm just talking about Geno and Sam Darnold. Let me know. Yeah. I mean, I guess if Zach Wilson catches fire or gets a shot,
I think that's the one. I think that's the one they write about being bad. Zach Wilson. I think he's the one that they write about being bad. I don't think he's good at football.
Nope. Taysom Hill is only. I'll say probably the only good player to come from old Utah. But we don't gotta talk about that, man. But yeah, man, Sam Darnold has resurrected his career. Looks like what we thought he looked like coming out of college. It just, he just had to get that New York Jets out his bloodstream, man.
Yeah.
He was chemically imbalanced. he couldn't function right. He needed some I don't know, man, vitamin Minnesota or something, bro. Level him out. Shout out Kevin O'Connell, man, and he's proven that he's actually going to be a good coach, and has the good stuff to do that. And big shout out to Brian Flores on his revenge tour, man. That's who I'm rooting for more than anything. That revenge tour, Brian Flores. I wish they played Miami. I'm not sure if they do or not.
I don't think they do. They did. And in the first hour, you kind of segue right into it. In the first hour, I gave my MVP for the first part of the season, and I picked Sam Darnold. That was my pick for MVP in the first part of the season. He's leading the league in touchdowns. For those of you just now joining in with us in hour number 2, leading the league in touchdowns, 11 touchdowns and 3 picks. He's just about 100 yards outside of the top 3 in passing yards. His team is undefeated, and he's a huge part of why they're undefeated. So I had to put him as my MVP. I had to put him as my MVP pick for the beginning of at least for the first quarter of the season. Now that list will obviously change, and just like it did last year, I don't think anybody had Lamar Jackson as their MVP through the first 4 weeks, probably through the first 8 weeks of the season last year. So we know that can change. But as through these first 4 MVP so far, I had Sam Darnold, man. What do you think about that?
Man, I think it's spot on. I'm rooting for old Sammy boy, man. I think I like the storyline of trashing the Jets front office. I like Sam Darnold as a player. I appreciate quarterbacks that throw a beautiful ball, or just have complete control of the ball, like Aaron Rodgers, or even some of the guys from back in the day that weren't very good in decision making, but they could like Jay Cutler. I'm a Jay Cutler fan, man. No, he wasn't that great. Sometimes he wasn't even good. Yeah. But if you one thing he wasn't gonna do, he was gonna throw that ball a million miles an hour in a tight spiral, and it was gonna be cool. But it might have gone to the
might have hit the other team in the chest.
The defense, but right. But the ball was gonna look good getting there. So I've always had like a special spot in my football heart for quarterbacks that are kind of like that. And Sam Darnold, this is like the Brett Favre kind of mode. They're gonna throw you touchdowns, they're gonna make plays, they're gonna do some crazy stuff, and they're gonna throw a lot of picks. And Sam Darnold's still kind of in that mode. He's my MVP as well, but I'm seeing 4 touchdowns and a pick.
Yeah.
3 touchdowns and a pick. So he's definitely Brett Favre, Jay Cutler, those type of guys that are just gunslingers. Yeah, people don't even say that term no more. Gunslinger.
The gunslinging quarterbacks.
Right, yeah, it's gunslinger. It came and died with Brett Favre, to be real with you. But yeah, man, he's a gunslinger, man. I like that, man. I want that to succeed. I miss I don't know what I miss actually, but I'm glad Sam Darnold is turned out to be a good player.
Let's just start talking about that for you say something else crazy out here. Right. You don't know what you mean. All right, but yeah, but no, Sam Darnold, like you said, he's right in that. I put Matt Stafford in that kind of role too. Obviously, at the most elite level, it could turn into Matt Stafford. But just as far as those gunslinging quarterbacks, I like Sam Darnold, man. Like you said, he just had to get away from the Jets. Unfortunately, a lot of quarterbacks just had to get away from the Jets. Unfortunately, Aaron Rodgers looks like he needs to get away from the Jets right now because the Jets aren't looking too hot. Now, they play the Jets on Sunday. Speaking of the Jets, that's who Sam Darnold plays on Sunday. If he wants his ultimate revenge game, unfortunately, it's going to be in London, and they got to fly overseas to play it in this one. Now, I said I didn't fully pick the game yet. I'm going to wait till tomorrow to pick these round of Sunday games, but I think this is one of those kind of setup games for Minnesota. They 4-0. They're coming into this game. They got a Jets team that's trying to get a win. Everybody's talking about everybody on this Jets team. Aaron, they said something about Aaron Rodgers doing his the way he was doing his quarterback cadence and how they got false starts. Garrett Wilson saying the offense is too bland. Aaron Rodgers saying that they just need to figure stuff out. Everybody's pointing the finger at somebody right now with the Jets, but this team is still talented, and I think they still might have enough to be able to get over, at least to make a run at the playoffs towards the end of this year. But just quickly, what do you think about this Jets and Minnesota game on Sunday, man? It's a tough one because it's overseas and you don't really know how everybody's going to play. But I think that could be a tough game for Sam Darnold potentially.
Yeah, I'm expecting something funky to happen just because it's the time difference.
Yep.
The fact that it's in Europe, like, I don't know, the grass might be. I don't know. England, they
seen that in Brazil
for breakfast, right? So, where are they playing at before I start talking about England?
I'm pretty sure they're playing in London, probably Wembley Stadium or something close like that. I don't know. They got multiple soccer stadiums out there.
So yeah, I'm expecting anything to happen, man. When you're over there, anything goes with them beans for breakfast, things like that. So
beans on toast.
I'm expecting something wacky from this game, so I gotta go. Let me look at the sports line real quick, and I'm gonna go against that. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they got Minnesota 2.5 right now.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Yeah, I'm taking that, man.
You taking Minnesota?
Yeah. I think the Jets. Well, hold on, because logic tells me that the New York Jets are, adjacent to the Cowboys at this point, just kind of accident waiting to happen. It seems like Aaron Rodgers has become a part of that.
Yep.
But so that will lead me to believe, Minnesota has things rolling. I'm gonna take the Jets, man. I'm taking that.
And usually I would just pick them just straight up, but only reason I wouldn't is because they just lost to Bo Nix 3 days ago. Bo Nix. 60 yards. That man had 60 yards and they lost.
Dude, what's going on? Bo Nix beat the Buccaneers too.
Yeah.
And then the Buccaneers back door and beat the Eagles. Bad. That game wasn't close. It's one of those ones you had to watch. Like
Sean Payton must be back to cheating again or something.
Man,
something's going on. Because how do you win and your quarterback has 60 yards?
Yeah, how you get Kevin James to star in a movie about you? Why? I thought that was fishy. So yeah, we need to investigate that, dude. And yeah, man. I'm gonna take the Jets on that one though. The London environment and the travel, I think it's enough for me to think something wonky is gonna happen. I don't know what that is yet, but I'm pretty sure. I think the Jets might pull off the upset here. But I don't even know what to call the upset anymore. Like this whole preseason shrinking. I think this preseason shrinking, right? Because it's 2 games, right? Or 3?
Yeah, it's 3, but nobody plays them.
So 2. So 2. Yeah. A lot of people didn't play their players. That was the thing.
Yeah,
you're right. A lot of people did not play their players this preseason. So is that why we're getting such unexpected results?
Yeah.
Like. What's up with that? Because this feels like, how did the Broncos have 2 wins?
I have no idea.
This man Bo Nix is the worst. I think CBS Sports ranked him the worst quarterback starter right now. This dude has 7 throws. He has 7 throws for negative 1 yards. 7 completions for negative 1 yards. Jalen.
He's been terrible.
They don't want you to throw that mug past your hip. If that's the case, like they don't want you to throw it more than your arm length in front of you. That's how bad this boy was throwing the ball behind the line of scrimmage, which is cool. Sometimes we've seen that with a couple quarterbacks in their first years. I think like Terrell Pryor was like playing like that.
And that's exactly where he's gonna be. Where Terrell Pryor went if he keeps playing like that.
Man, but the Broncos beat the Buccaneers and Aaron Rodgers and the Jets.
Like, I have no idea how.
What do we call this? I know Denver's not good. I don't care what you say.
I know they're not good.
I
know Bo Nix ain't good. If I don't know anything about anybody else on the team, Bo Nix isn't good. Like you said, the yardage, the lack thereof of the yardage, completing 60% of his passes. He's throwing.
He was a first-round pick.
Yes, unfortunately. He's another product of teams just take. I'm not taking these 29-year-olds and stuff out of college, man. Y'all gonna get enough of taking these dudes who's been in college for 10 years and look good because they've been in college for 10 years. That's why Bo Nix look good, because he's 25 playing against 18-year-olds. When he gets to the league, he's throwing 1 touchdown, 4 picks. He's averaging 160 yards a game.
Jalen, do you know who? Because Bo Nix was 32. Do you know who 31 was?
For what?
The worst quarterbacks ranked. CBS Sports did a worst quarterback ranking. You know who 31 was? Through the first 4 weeks.
Nah.
Give me just your best guess. It's like don't make it too hard now. Like
Anthony Richardson.
No. That's the Texans bias.
I try to tell y'all about Anthony Richardson, man. That dude can't throw a 10-yard out route. But now I don't know who it is.
It's somebody that ain't even played. Snoop Huntley. He ain't even played.
This dude been at the crib, got a call to go to Miami, had to get himself off the couch in Magic City and get into the NFL, and came in straight to the league and is already ranked better than. I should have said Bryce Young, but it ain't even Bryce Young. That's crazy. It's Snoop Huntley.
I would have thought it was gonna be Bryce, but Snoop Huntley.
That's crazy. That's wild.
And Bo Nix is behind him. Bo Nix is 2-2, man. He can't get ahead of somebody that ain't won a.
He has 60 yards. 60 as a quarterback. He has 60 yards. That's ridiculous. I don't know what's going on in the NFL now.
How do you draft somebody like that in the first round, man?
I don't know what made them draft him or McCarthy in the first round. Teams get so desperate to pick people. J.J. McCarthy.
Yeah, he's not getting that spot back.
No, definitely. They just wasted a pick. You could have got a lineman. You could have got a DN, something y'all need. You could have got another receiver. There's so many things you could have got with that pick. And you said, I bet, J.J. McCarthy. He looked so good handing the ball off to Blake Corum last year. We're going to draft him number 9. These GMs, man, obviously I've never done the job, so it's got to be tough. But I feel like y'all make it a lot harder than what it is, bro. Ain't no way y'all took J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix in that first round. McCarthy kept the strays. He ain't even played yet. But I know he's going to look similar to Bo Nix, in my opinion. I don't think J.J. McCarthy is anything special. Bo Nix is probably going to be the worst quarterback in the NFL for as long as he's a starter. He's going to be the worst in the league. So, like you said, I don't know what's going on in the NFL right now. But shout out Sam Darnold, because that's what I had as my MVP so far in the league. Now, talking about a good quarterback, so we can get off this Bo Nix stuff. Jaden Daniels been playing great. Another rookie, somebody that, I'm not going to say I would have took number 1 or should have went number 1 overall. I'm just going to say I might have taken number 1 overall, just depending on, pick your poison. I didn't like the way that Caleb Williams ended his career at USC, so I probably would have took Jaden Daniels just because he was on more of a hot streak. And right now, he's clearly the best rookie playing in the league right now, but he's looking like one of the best quarterbacks. At least a top 15 quarterback. It's not many times you can say a rookie is looking like a top 15, top 20 quarterback in the league, and that's exactly what Jaden Daniels is doing. They lost their first game of the year to Tampa Bay, but they're on a 3-game winning streak. Beat New York, beat Cincinnati, beat Arizona. He's played good in all of those games, only thrown 1 pick so far in the season. Now, he's only thrown 3 touchdowns, but his yardage isn't bad. In all their wins, he's thrown for over 200 yards. He's putting in work running the ball as well. No, he's a threat doing that. He scored a rushing touchdown in every game besides the win over the New York Giants. So talking about Jaden Daniels. What do we think about this Commander squad? I know what I think about Jaden Daniels. Could the Commanders sneakily win this NFC East? That's the question I have. Does Jaden Daniels give them enough to try to sneak over the edge and win the NFC East? Now, they've got him. They got Brian Robinson, who's been playing pretty good at the running back spot. Austin Eckler still got to get back and get healthy. Terry McLaurin's been playing decent. I know he's just glad he's got a quarterback again. Dan Quinn is coaching their defense now. He's their head coach. He's coaching their defense. So we know he knows how to get pressure on the quarterback, if nothing else. He knows how to generate some pressure. They don't really have much on their defense. You got Bobby Wagner in there just to kind of be a veteran leader on that defense. But they're sitting right now at the top of the NFC East, in front of Philly, in front of Dallas, and in front of New York. Does Jaden Daniels get him enough to win the NFC East, in your opinion?
Yeah, man. You can't look at the Cowboys and the Eagles and think that, think any less of Washington.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, man, it sucks, but they got one. They got one. All right, they got one. Now I get to hate them for it. I can't even hate dude, honestly. But yeah, now I get to hate him, man. But I ain't gonna hate him the way I hate the Eagles quarterback, because he's way better than him already.
I might have to agree with that.
Today. Shout out that man though and getting me engaged. I don't think I said that, but I'm really proud of him. But yeah, that's about all I got to cheer for with that man. Jay, he's the third best quarterback in this division. So I'm putting Daniels ahead of them other two, and he's on Dak's tail, man. Like, Dak, if he beats Dak this year, or he goes and does something crazy like lights up the playoffs and a win, I got to put him on par with Dak, man. Like, and if you on par with Dak, that means you in contention for the best quarterback in the conference, you know? So, you got a chance. Like, Washington is, whoever they play, take the receivers, because Washington DBs, man, like, I think you're going to have some, you're going to get some love. I don't know why Kyler Murray couldn't really figure it out this past week. I just think, they got pieced up, but this Washington team is running the football. Austin Eckler is not. I don't know, that Eckler we saw that was like running like a Looney Tune in one spot, last year.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was injured or something, but he looks good, man.
He got hurt, so he wasn't playing last week, but he'll be back.
Man, it's one video when he was on the Chargers, man. He's like running up the sideline, and it literally took all day.
Yeah, like, legs too little.
Couldn't wait. Man, when made me a coffee came back, this dude still at the line of scrimmage. Like, golly. But yeah, man, their backfield is proven to be good in a tandem. What's his name? Brian Robinson, I believe. Like he's a dog, underrated back for sure.
Yeah.
And then they just need some receivers, man. They need like a consistent every down receiver. Terry McLaurin I think he can do it, but he's kind of just being a 4 catches, a big play kind of guy. Just 4 catches, and that's a good game for him. He'll have like 70 or 80 yards.
Yeah.
And so outside of that, they probably need one more weapon for that guy, and then they'll be there. Like, this defense, Cowboys defense ain't nothing to hang on. The Eagles defense definitely ain't nothing to hang on. Everybody's kind of middle of the pack teams right now in the NFC East. We are not the cream of the crop in the NFC no more. So I think Jaden Daniels definitely has a chance to do that this year, very RG3-esque when he came in his rookie year and won a division.
Yeah.
So I think Jaden Daniels is a player. He's clearly been the best quarterback, probably the best player in this class. Dude, what record did he break the other night, man? Wasn't he like 23 for 25 or something against
Yeah, on Monday night.
That was crazy. We ain't seen the stuff like that since Dak. And Dak was, know where Dak was throwing the ball. It wasn't throwing the ball across the middle, 20 yards on the field. No, sir. Dak was great his rookie year, but he had weaknesses as a quarterback. I don't really see, outside of just normal rookie stuff, he misses a throw here. but he can make the throw. He just missed. We saw him make the throw 2 plays ago. So it's not like there's a talent deficiency. He just has to get with the growing pains. And if they go get, everybody's talking about who's Devontae Adams gonna go to, man. If one team like the Redskins go get a number 2, a legit like number 2 that can also be a 1, bro, y'all have to respect the Commanders. Like,
yeah,
y'all gonna have to respect them, man. And the NFC East is wide open. The Commanders are looking like they got a quarterback, and he could potentially be the best, down the road, the best one in the division. So I'm definitely not afraid of them, but I'm worried about how well they'll do in this season, because I think they have a chance, especially with the Cowboys looking like, the Disney version from the Blue Giants. Boy. And then we probably lose this week, like, apparently we got the injury bug, so, now we got to play Justin Fields that all of a sudden wants to be good again. All right, cool. Bet, I guess we got to play him, right? Whatever. But yeah, man, big shout out to Jaden Daniels and Doug Williams, man. I've always appreciated, I never wanted the Commanders to be like horrible. That's not one of the teams that I just hate. And like, even though they're in my division.
Like the Giants and we're a little too young for that Washington and Dallas rivalry that it kind of was in the early 90s and late 80s. It ain't really been. It's not like how it's been with the Giants and the Eagles, obviously, for the last 20, 30 years.
And then they got Robert. I had to root for him for a little bit because they had Robert.
Yeah, facts.
So it was kind of bittersweet, but I just really ain't had a chance. Before that, they always had a black quarterback, especially in my youth. Donovan, Jason Campbell. Yeah. So I was always like halfway rooting for him. Not rooting for him, but I wasn't. Yeah, the only person I never liked was Kirk Cousins when he was there. I wanted to mess him up, really, but that was more because of RG3 and how they did him, Facts. So I wanted Kirk Cousins to fail. I ain't gonna lie to you. I was Kirk's biggest hater.
Well, he did not. He went right to the bank. He's succeeding in life.
Dude, I said, man, maybe I need to hate on myself. But man, I'm excited about this Commander season and Jaden Daniels. I thought his Heisman was a little overrated. I really wasn't respecting it, just to be honest with you. Like, I just kind of thought it was one of those years. Like, okay.
No, I felt the same. I felt the same. They kind of just had to give it to somebody. Is how I felt.
Yeah. And I just wasn't impressed by anybody last year, so I just thought he didn't deserve it because nobody was really impressive.
Yeah.
But nah, man, he's a player. He can run. He's accurate. He got some power to him. He got poise. I like this young kid, man. I hate that he's in the division, but it's good to. Now we just need the Giants to get Shador, and we gotta. It's Black History Month in here, man. Hopefully Jalen stops embarrassing us, but we can get it rolling. But yeah, man, Washington's gonna be a player, at least in the NFC East, sure.
I ain't even thinking about that. They got the potential to have 4 black quarterbacks in an entire division. I mean, that's crazy. They should have kept Tyrod Taylor and let Daniel Jones go, and they could have had it done. But we know how that went. That's actually kind of crazy. I ain't even thinking about that. But yeah, Jaden Daniels, he's been phenomenal so far, man. And like you said, I'm just excited to see how he can keep going. I know he's gonna have another good week this week because they play the Browns, and everybody has a good week playing the Browns. So he's got another good game coming up. I'll be tuned in to watch and see what he's gonna do. Segueing just off of the last point that you made about picking up Devontae Adams, talk about a little bit in hour number 1. Devontae Adams asking for a trade. This opens up a lot. In the first hour, I said this could change the team's season depending on where he's go. This isn't like when, Brandon Cooks was requesting a trade a few years ago, or even when Odell was on the market last year before he went to Baltimore. This is different. This is a whole different animal. This is a guy that had the title as best receiver in the league. This is a guy that is probably, in my opinion, still the best route runner in the league in Devontae Adams. Leaving the Raiders for obvious reasons. There's nothing going on out there. And they're only asking for a second-round pick. Now, there's a few teams I threw out there as potential getters, potential suitors for him. Obviously, Kansas City Chiefs was one of them just after the Rashee Rice news that he's going to be out and they need help at receiver. I mean, that would just be pretty much cheating. I think, in my opinion, if somehow Kansas City goes out there and gets Davante Adams, that's just cheating. Obviously, New York is an option because of Aaron Rodgers. I don't think they'll get him because they've already spent so much money on Mike Williams, and they brought in Allen Lazard, and they got Garrett Wilson. So I don't think they'll necessarily go and get him. And the Jets just tend to make bad decisions, so they probably won't go get him. But the two teams I had as the top teams to get him was Baltimore and Dallas. Those are my teams that I thought should be the top teams to get him because they could change both of their seasons. Baltimore is already trending up. They were already the number one seed in the NFL last year. Already got 2 MVP candidates with just how Lamar Jackson is a 2-time MVP. And Derrick Henry's probably an MVP candidate this year so far. You pair him in with that, he could fit right into that mold of older receivers that the Ravens have gotten over the years, like Steve Smith and Anquan Bolden, that came there and kind of revived the second part of their career. Davante Adams could fit right into that. And then Dallas. Obviously, Dallas needs a number 2. Brandon Cooks is not cutting it. Jalen Tolbert right now is their number 2. He's obviously not cutting it. They don't have any running game whatsoever. So if you're going to throw the ball 70% of the time, why not go get another good receiver? They have the cap room. Jerry said before the season, we're going to be all in. Why not go and pick up Davante Adams? They only want a second-round pick. Dallas got a second-round pick. What's your opinion on that, Kyrie? What do you think that Davante should go? And then what do you think about me saying the 2 best teams for him to go to is Baltimore and Dallas?
Yeah, I would agree. Those are the 2 most 2 teams in the most dire need to get them. You know.
Yeah.
The Chiefs as well, especially with if I was in the Chiefs, or if I was thinking about the Chiefs with Rashee Rice, I probably would have stayed away just because of the money he's going to be getting. I know the Raiders are going to eat most of that, but I just don't know where the cap is, and I can't imagine that.
Yeah, they would have to move some. They would have to move some stuff around, or
Right, and same thing with Baltimore, but those Baltimore and Dallas, you're trying to get over that hump, right?
Yeah.
You're close, or you were close last year, right? How do you do that, Davante Adams? Maybe that price is a little too steep, but everybody needs to stop listening to Jerry, all right? Because I've already seen reports today saying that the Cowboys checked up and aren't interested, after all the rise and everything. The first day it came out, or yesterday, the first thing I see this morning is apparently the Cowboys aren't interested.
Man, come on.
So, man, like, Jerry really hates us. Like, forget the Eagles, forget the Skins, forget the Giants. Our biggest op is Jerry Jones and Stephen Jones. Because what do you mean? They clearly don't care about the 2024 season. Like, you just paid Dak, but you're not trading for Davante Adams. Like, what? You have a chance to put CD and Davante Adams to the quarterback that probably needs the most help out of any top quarterback, right?
Yeah.
He needs the most help. And you don't do that, and you're finna trot out there CD and and the rest, and the Jackson 4. I don't know. Like, I don't know, man. Like, dude, this offense looks terrible. You don't have a running game, right? The ball is on, or the team is in the hands of the $60 million quarterback. Why would you not give him all the tools he needs if you can? You have the money. The $35 million Davante Adams supposed to get next year, it's mostly getting eaten by the Raiders. So yeah. I think I saw today somebody broke it down and was like, the cap hit if he came to the Cowboys, it would be a $13 million cap hit.
Yep.
We have $25 million in space.
Yep.
25 M's in space. And you're not interested? I don't want to hear anything about the story, because he's going to go to Baltimore, or he's going to go to the Eagles, just because, that's what, somehow, bro.
They just figure something out.
They just figure something out, man. Give up a piece of Pennsylvania or Philadelphia. You can have it. We'll let you have some land in Philadelphia. I don't know. But, yeah, man. So I'm really upset about that situation. I didn't even want Davante Adams, and I'm upset, man. I wanted the cheaper option in Cleveland. Bring him back.
Amari,
we only need a 2. We don't need it'd be great to have 2 1s, but we only need a 2. Amari Cooper would be a much cheaper price, and he's and he's probably, around He's obviously worse, but he's still a good receiver and can be a one on a bad team. He might have lost a step though this year. I'm seeing, even though he did catch a couple touchdowns.
The whole Browns lost a step.
Yeah, man. But man, that's just like frustrating to hear. Why? What do you mean you're not interested? How? Are you watching this offense? Do you care about the season? No. I'll tell you right now, no. It's a wash. They're already mad. They don't have to pay two of their guys, man. And it's just like, well, we're not going to do. We got talent everywhere. No, you don't. Running back room is a D, maybe an F.
Yeah, it's terrible.
Your receiver room is a F, is a D because of CD.
Just because of CD.
C minus because of CD. Your tight end room is blah. Just C. Yep. Like Jake Ferguson. I don't want to hear nothing about no Jake Ferguson, man. Jake Ferguson's cool. He cool. He's cool. He ain't no top 5 tight end though. Fantasy, that's the thing. Fantasy gets him. Like he had that a couple 2 years ago, maybe last year. Cool. But when you look at Jake Ferguson, nothing scream top 10, top 5 tight end.
No.
Like, I'm not picking that dude. I'm going there's a bunch of tight ends I'd rather have or want to have just as bad as Jake Ferguson. So this offense, the O-line is well invested in. Congratulations. But outside of that, we don't draft receivers well. We'll hit on a number 1 pick or a first round pick, Dez, CD, whatever. But just filling out the room, they're garbage at that, man. Garbage. Michael Gallup is probably our next best draft pick, and
Terrence Williams.
1,000 Oh yeah, Terrence Williams. He was serviceable. I'm not a Pro Bowl. We don't draft Pro Bowlers. We draft Patrick Creighton's and
hey, shut up, Patrick Creighton.
I
ain't heard that name in forever.
No disrespect, bro.
He was cold on Madden 09.
Yeah, but you was solid. They be solid. But you have never had a chance to give Dak. We had it for one season, right? One season. And then they foolishly sent Amari Cooper off for a 5th round pick. Why'd you even do that? You could have just gave him his money and took it from somebody else. But now it worked out last year because we had Michael Gallup, and I get that y'all thought Michael Gallup was going to be who, but he retired. He's not even in the league. Amari Cooper's still the number 1 somewhere. Yep. And you had a chance to keep that core together. They're terrible at drafting running backs as well.
Yeah.
Just because we got DeMarco Murray and I don't even know if we drafted him really. But Zeke. Before that, man, let's go. Joseph Randle, Tashard Choice, Julius Jones,
Felix.
They weren't. Yeah, I mean, and Felix.
Both of them, yeah.
Both of them. That's why I'm confused. Felix and Julius Jones. Shout out Thomas Jones. I'm pretty sure he was from Killeen or something, but
Marion Barber was in there.
Yeah, Marion Barber was cool, but Marion Barber was he was all right. He can run you over, but bro,
any of them will be better than what's going on right now in that running back room.
Boy, any of them. Tashard Choice. What's
Tashard Choice is crazy.
Lance Dunbar.
Yeah, Lance.
Let's get it going, man, because right now the Dowdle room is not working.
Where is Dalvin?
They won't move him up.
What happened?
It's ridiculous. I have no clue. He's on the practice squad right now. They won't play him. They literally just had the worst running game of their season against New Orleans and Baltimore. What happened on the Giants? I know it was a short week, but he did not get moved up for the Giants. I don't know. It makes 0 sense. I'm telling you, man, the Joneses
are the Cowboys tanking. Let's just ask the question, man. Are the Cowboys tanking?
They might be. Look at the decisions that you make your quarterback miss. Okay, you give your quarterback a contract, right? You make your wide receiver. You hold him up by not giving him the money he deserves. I get you were waiting on the Justin Jefferson deal, maybe, if I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. But if that's the case, the deal should have been signed the next day. Y'all waited until the Monday or whatever days, within 7 days before the start of the season, to be like, hey, yeah, here you go. And now they he missed training camp. And your 4th round draft pick that you molded into a star,
Mm-hmm.
You tried him out there with Jalen Brooks and Jalen Tolbert, all the Jalens in the world. No disrespect, but is like, and this dude, like, they both bad. They're not good. Jalen Tolbert can't block for anything. That's why, like, Jalen Brooks can't stay on his feet.
Nope.
You draft a receiver in the 6th round this year, right? Right?
Yeah.
That receiver, Ryan Flournoy, Flournoy, I don't know how to say his name. I watched the training camp, Jalen. That kid was the 2nd best receiver we had.
Where he been at? Oh my God.
Practice squad.
Hey, the practice squad is lit. What are they doing with the practice squad?
He finna get poached. Ryan Flournoy was our best receiver next after CD. I'm not even joking. I'm not joking.
What happened with Carl Lawson? Didn't they sign him too? Where Carl Lawson been?
Carl Lawson played last week, but he's washed. I watched him get off the line. He's
probably washed, yeah.
Like, who else, man? I don't know, bro, but you just look at the decisions they've been making, the sabotage they did of training camp in the off season, all that missed time, all that hoopla and drama, and going back to even last year, didn't get Derrick Henry. Now we signed a whole bunch of players that got cut. They got cut by other teams, bro. We don't want them no more. Jordan Phillips, Linval Joseph from 2005.
I didn't know he was still in the league.
Exactly. Like, why are we signing all these dudes? And that's another reason, like, I wasn't trying to get excited about Davante Adams, man, because Davante Adams is great, but he's not the direction I want this team to go in. I'm looking like we got to get younger. We got Brandon Cooks out there who apparently has a knee injury. But boy, all right. Jordan Phillips, he hurt his wrist or whatever. But he told the reporters his wrist was fine. But really, I'm watching Brandon Cooks. Man got 2 routes, a stop route and a go.
That's it.
Oh, and a slant, 3. And he sucks at 2 of them now. He can still run a slant, but he don't get no speed boost on the fade, and he don't.
No separation.
Boy, I'm talking about, boy, he ran a stop route and turned around and was still backpedaling. Like, I don't even that's the opposite of what you're supposed to do. But so I just think the talent on this team, man, is being held up by our superstars, but the talent on offense at our skill positions on offense is lacking. We don't got none of this newfound. These I can't say that, man, but these young dudes, man, they got this new twitch they got, bro, and I don't know what it looked like. Ryan Williams got it for sure.
Oh my man,
it's a different type of twitch. They don't evolve or something, man. Like,
for real.
It's the next Pokemon level or something, man. These players is looking
next gen receiver.
Man, like Travis Hunter, they got a different type of balance. They twinkled all of them. It's crazy.
Even neighbors in New York.
Big neighbors. Just ballerinas. Yeah. They look like ballerinas. Swole ballerinas. I don't know what to tell you. But that was very Donald Trump-esque. But but yeah, man, you get what I'm saying, man. And now you shout out Brandon Cooks and these other stiff receivers out here. Man, get these dudes off that's not gonna work. We're not going to be. I don't know what's gonna happen if we don't trade for Davante Adams or Amari Cooper or just do anything to boost this offense. We're not winning anything this year.
I mean, it makes perfect sense. The Davante Adams thing, it almost makes too much sense. You broke down the salary cap. You broke down the cap hit that they would take if they got him. I mean, like I said in hour number 1, it would literally be scary if both of them was out on the field at the same time. You know how much that would open up just the run game.
It's crazy.
Like CD and Tay Adams on the outside, it's 2 unguardable people, making you gonna have to double probably both of them, which is gonna unlock the run game if there is anything left. If Dalvin Cook has anything left, it'll completely unlock it. It'll completely unlock it if they get Davante Adams in. And then what is that gonna look like? You got 2 dudes that are going to be open pretty much every play. No one can guard them one-on-one in the league. Yeah, you already paid the dude. Like, you got, like.
Well, you already paid him. Might as well. You got to get your money's worth now.
Yeah.
Ain't no point trying to save his numbers this year. Like, you should have did that last year. Honestly, I'd have ran the ball 40 times if I didn't want to pay Dak. you know, probably would have lost. But, dude, that's what I'm talking about. Jerry. It's Jerry. That's going to be the theme of my visits onto the show, man. It's Jerry. Put it on a T-shirt. It's Jerry. Oh, my gosh. What you mean you're not interested? I mean, am I a joke?
I can't believe that they said that. I didn't even see that they said that. I can't believe that anybody would come out from the organization. It don't matter if it's the guy that cleans the helmets. No one in that organization should be saying, yeah, we're out on Tay Adams. Why? I mean, it don't, like I said, it just almost makes too much sense for them to go out and get him. I have no idea why they've decided that they're not going to get him. So the Davante Adams trade news, like I said earlier, this could change the trajectory of a lot of teams. I had Dallas Cowboys as my number one option to go get him. They have to try to make this happen, even though Jerry said all this. Hopefully it's just a smoke and decoy. It's a decoy to get people off their back, and they're going to make some type of backdoor deal and try to get him. Because if you want to be able to sell more tickets, Jerry, if you want to be able to get more viewership, because by the end of the season, the Cowboys are always going to be watching. There are always going to be people there. But by the end of the season, it's not going to be the same if they're out there and they're 5-9, because that's the direction it looks like they're going towards right now. So you got to make something happen. We only got a couple minutes left. I wanted to talk about this earlier. Top receiver in the league. It's been a lot of changes in the league so far. Jettas has a lot of people's consensus number one, but I don't know. I'm a guy that I always think Jamar Chase is right there in that category as well. Can't deny what you've seen out of Malik Neighbors and Nico Collins. You can't deny that. Nico is looking like a dog. I don't think he's the best receiver in the league, but he's up there. Then you still got guys like Davante Adams. You still got guys like Tyreek Hill, who's just in a horrible situation right now. So he's a lot of people's number one receiver in the league. But if I just had to give my number one receiver in the league, I'm still going to take Justin Jefferson. That's just my preference. You know, a lot of people think that, but the bad part is I think the number one and two best receivers in the league is Jamar Chase and Justin Jefferson. Crazy thing is they was on the same team in college. That's the crazy part. But, Kyra, I wanted to get your opinion on this. I've been seeing a lot of back and forth chatter on Twitter and Instagram about who's the best receiver. You know, a lot of people still saying Jettas. Some people say CeeDee Lamb, Jamar Chase. They're all in that category of best receivers in the league. And you have to throw Tyreek in there. Obviously, his stats don't look like it right now because they got me out there at quarterback. But if they get any comparable quarterback play, competent quarterback play, then Tyreek will be right back up there. And then DK's having a good season too as well. Who do you think is got that top dog spot right now, since receivers just been the topic over the last couple of days since this Tay Adams news?
Okay, so are we doing these first 4 weeks alone?
Just whoever you think is the best right now. You can do it off the first 4 weeks in the league, or who do you just think is the best receiver in the league right now?
Okay, yeah, I'm going Jettas at one. He fell off a little bit last year, but just these first 4 weeks, he's still that dude. Yeah, he's still that dude. Yeah, I'm going Jettas, CeeDee Lamb at 2. And then 3, man, I don't want to put Tyreek in there because I feel like he's just a cheat code.
He really is.
You get what I'm saying? Like, Tyreek really not no receiver. Like, he is.
Just a football player.
He's just a football player. He is not killing. Like, I don't think ever. I'm being so disrespectful, man. But y'all know what I'm trying to say.
No, I get
y'all
it.
know what I'm trying to say. He's not a real receiver. Kind of like Debo, you know?
Yeah.
Like just a football player, but you know, he out there. Yeah. So yeah, I'm sticking with that. I ain't saying Tyreek, man. Tyreek is different category. I'm not putting him in there. So yeah, I'm going Jettas, CeeDee Lamb, and then I want Nico. I want Nico Collins, man.
Nico's nice.
Jettas. I mean, not Jettas. Before what's the other LSU
Chase?
Yeah, before Jamar Chase, and then you can have whoever you want at 5. I really don't care. But you know, whoever you want to put at 5, you can put at 5. Nobody else has really separated outside of if you want to put Davante in there for, you know, nostalgia, I guess. But he really ain't.
AJ Brown, Davante, Tyreek Hill.
No.
You're not taking AJ either?
AJ Brown. AJ could be 5, but I don't want to hear his name.
He been hurt. Malik Neighbors. I'm tempted to put Malik in that top 5. It's too early right now, but I mean he's unguardable through this first few weeks.
No. We tripping, bro. We tripping. Amon-Ra. Definitely Amon-Ra's 5th.
See, but I get what you're saying, but he's almost a different version of that Tyreek Hill Debo that you talked about. He just gets the ball and he's good. He can run the route tree. I'm not saying he can't run the route tree. He does have the route tree. But the way that they give him the ball is kind of like, man, we're just gonna give you the ball, and we know you can make people miss.
Yeah, cheating, all them slot catches. I get you. I get what you're saying. But
he's in there too, for sure. For sure, I'm on Roz in there. 5B.
I'll put AJ Brown 5A.
Okay, I'm not mad at that. And Nico, man, I don't know how he's just so open and how he gets so much yak in these games. And I'm a Texas fan, but something about me just doesn't want to put him in there. Maybe it's just because I'm still remember Nico from the first 2 or 3 years in the league. But since C.J. Stroud has been there, he's literally unguardable. Like, he's actually unguardable. He's going to lead the league in receiving yards this year. He was one of the top in the league last year in receiving yards, and he's probably going to lead it this year. Like I said, man, it's crazy to see. He had 1,200 yards last year, just 3 yards shy of 1,300 yards. This year he might go for 1,500 yards, man, which is just crazy to say, seeing where he came from. So I've been hesitant to put him in that top 5, but yeah, I got to put Nico in there, man. Like I said, he's going to lead the league. And then the other guy, as far as just yak, now this ain't a top receiver guy, but just like who's just going to be a yak merchant this year, Jaden Reed, man. He's made himself the clear number 1 in Green Bay. He's another dude that's like, okay, he's not just running the crispest routes out there, but when he gets the ball, he's a threat. He's a home run threat every time he touches the ball to score. Every single time he touches the ball to score, Jaden Reed is a home run threat. I'm starting to like him more. I know Quay would want us to put Juwan Jennings in there because he's top 4 in yards right now, but Jennings not going to stay in there. Chris Godwin's going to fall out of that too as well. You don't want to put Juwan Jennings in there. He's top 5 in yards right now. He's number 4. He got 364 and 3 touchdowns.
And didn't all 3 of them come in week 3?
Yeah, I think so. I think all 3 came in that one game.
We'll see. We'll see him again at Christmas.
But yeah, the top receiver, I think we both agree. We both still got Jettas at that spot. Where I disagree is I'm still taking Chase over CD. It's close. It's not, it's pick apples and oranges to me, man. Whichever one you prefer.
I think Chase is better than AJ Brown.
Nah, you tripping. And because I know just because of the way that this season has went, but man, when he gets the ball, first of all, his routes are crisp. He's got great hands, and he's a home run threat every single time. There's not much more you can ask for in a receiver in that. I think if he doesn't get the targets that other guys get, I don't know why. I think him and Joe Burrow starting to not like each other. He's not gonna get. I mean, he had 6 targets last game. He had 3 catches, and almost all 3 of them went for a touchdown. So, this dude is a monster still. He's just not getting the targets. I don't know why. Him and Joe Burrow probably need to box it out or something, but we'll see. But we both agree with Jettas being at that top list, and I ain't mad at putting CD there either. The production speaks for itself. Being able to win on the outside and on inside playing slot too, CD's definitely in there. But, folks, want to thank everybody for watching with us today. I want to thank Kyrell for jumping on here with me in hour number 2. Tomorrow will be the last show of the week. We got a bye week this week on La Vega football, so we won't have a Friday Night Light edition of Centex Primetime on Fridays. So we'll end it out tomorrow. We're going to go through these games. We're going to pick a lot of these NFL games. We're going to go through these college games, pick a lot of these college games. So we got a lot to talk about tomorrow. So stay tuned, folks. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. Once again, thank everybody for watching with us today. If you haven't already, go to YouTube and subscribe. Centex Sports Network and Centex Sports TV on YouTube. And download the app on Centex Sports 1. Download the app on the Apple Store. Or if you got those green text messages, go ahead and download it on the Google Play Store as well. Once again, we'll be back here tomorrow, 5 to 7. So make sure you guys tune in for that. We will see you guys next time here on Centex Primetime. Have a great evening.
Central Texas home for sports. It's Centex Sports Network and Infinity Sports. Catch all your in-depth sports analysis with the best. The hottest sports show in the evening is Centex